Here's our room on deck 8. We were in room 670. When you first walk in, this is the overview of the room. Honestly, this room was really good. I really liked it. It's got a lot of hooks for you to hang everything. There's this cute little cubby right here where we set our drinks. More storage down there. Tiny little trash can though. It filled up very fast with 4 people in our stateroom. But they changed it out every day, so it really wasn't that bad. I love that there was a full-length mirror for you to check your outfits every day and take some cute pictures. Over here on the door, the little, I don't know what you call that, the do not disturb sign was actually a magnet that you just stuck to the outside of the door, so I thought that was actually really cool. These doors do slam, so I would be very intentional when you close it. We had an adjoining room, and this is the door to the other room, and there was no light coming from underneath that door, and we did not hear our neighbors the whole time. The thermostat was a little sensitive, so we like to keep it right in between so it wasn't too hot or too cold, whichever way you turned it. The master switch was really funny. We discovered halfway through the cruise that it actually turned off the AC when you hit it, even though it says that on the sticker. We didn't read that. Here in the bathroom, they had even more hooks for you to hang your wet bathing suits on, which came in handy. Again, with 4 people in the stateroom and us using our bathing suits every day, we hung them up there, so that was really cool. Love a lot of hooks, honestly. The bathroom was not a bad size. I don't have any complaints there. There were plenty of little cubbies and drawers and storage for us to organize and keep all of our stuff. My main complaint for this bathroom was that there were no outlets, at least no like American style outlets, not even a European style outlet. Maybe I was just missing it, but none of us could find one, which I thought was really weird to have no outlets in the bathroom. So again, honestly, not that bad. We made it work. There were plenty of outlets by the vanity where we ended up plugging in our straighteners and blow dryers and things like that. The bathroom was very clean. Definitely passed the inspection for me. The shower was very spacious. The temperature was, it got really hot, so that's really cool. More hooks in the shower, love that. If you're tall, you might bump your head on the hook. I love that there's a little rod there for your feet to go on, like if you need to shave your legs and stuff like that. That was really cool. Honestly, not too many complaints about this bathroom at all. Also, you'll have to excuse the dirty towels that were on the floor. When I filmed this room tour, this was at the end of our cruise, and we had stayed in the room for 7 days at this point. So it's another thing with waiting to do the room tour so I could talk about the pros and the cons of the room. So like in the bathroom, the pressure was really good in the shower and in the toilet as well. And outside of the bathroom here, all the switches were located all together, and it honestly got really confusing remembering which switch did what even after 7 days. So I'm really glad that they had a master switch. If you walk into the room, first thing to the left is obviously the bed, and I think this was like a queen size bed. I'm pretty sure it's actually 2 twins converted together and fit 2 people very well. And so then you have the storage closet over here, which has the safe and it came with hangers, which was awesome. Lots and lots of storage that fit everybody's stuff. There were 4 of us again in this room, and we still had space left over. We opted to do the laundry service. So they were running a special, as you see here, is $20 for all you can fit in the bag. And it was to have it steamed and pressed for all of our extra wrinkled clothes so that they would be ready for formal night, which was very convenient, and I thought it was very decently priced. You had side tables on both sides of the bed, but no plugs or USBs. So I didn't really care for that. We had to charge our phones way further away than where we slept. Here is the menu for the breakfast in the room. Continental breakfast was actually free. You had to pay for the American breakfast, but here are your options for that. We actually didn't do this on the cruise just because there were so many food options to try, so we opted not to do this. But in case you'd like to, you can go ahead and see that there. This was the regular room service menu. This is an additional charge. We also did not do this. Overall, the bed was pretty comfy. It had a lot of good storage underneath where we kept our suitcases and our luggage out of the way. I'm going to insert a photo right here of what the sofa looks like in its regular form. Overall, the room had a lot of storage and a lot of places for us to unpack and keep our things, which I really liked. The room did not come with bottles of water. Those were the bottles of water that we brought to our room. It also didn't come with the tumblers. That's if you buy the drink package, but this is what they look like in case one of you would like to do that. So then we also had this pull down bed, which is actually a sofa, and we had the turn down service every night where he would come in and he would pull the bed out and put the blankets and the sheets on with the pillows. And I think it was about a full-size bed, but it was enough for the 2 of us to sleep on, and it was honestly very comfortable. And then over here in the drawers under the vanity, you had a box of tissues and the hair dryer, which came with the room, so you don't have to bring your own. And then there was more storage underneath it, right next to the refrigerator slash beverage cooler. I wouldn't really call it a refrigerator because it didn't keep it cold. It was just more like a cooler, so just keep that in mind if you are looking at booking one of these rooms. I don't think the staterooms were really updated when they did the amplification of this ship, so do keep that in mind. And here's a look at the inside of the cooler slash beverage cooler. Not really a refrigerator, doesn't really keep things cold continuously. We had to add ice to it, so keep that in mind. But it was overall useful and clean. So my one and only complaint would be the outlets in the stateroom. These were the only outlets in the whole room, and they were located on the top of the vanity, and they were honestly really dirty and just old. And it worked. Like, we just had to plug in all of our phones over here together, which, I mean, you're tired by the end of the day. Like, it's not that big of a deal. You're not really going to spend a lot of time in your room. At least we didn't. But it was a little frustrating that it wasn't next to the bed. Over here, there's a lot more storage that we didn't even use half of. And I honestly love the lighting on the vanity. That came in handy a lot. There's more storage here. Like, so much storage in this stateroom. And I loved that. Already waiting in our room was this printout of the weekly schedule for our cruise, and it had the shows on it and a couple different events, which was really good for planning your days. And then this was the laundry service, the regular laundry service, like all the things you could do and you can order as part of your room service. It is an upcharge, and then these are the prices. Over here was the in-room phone, and we only used this to communicate with the kids club if Sadie needed picked up or if they needed to contact us for something on the ship. Was the only time that this phone was actually used. And then here's just another overview. And then outside here is the balcony, and very heavy door, very sturdy door, and I appreciated that. You walk out here, it had a lot of space, could definitely fit more than 2 people, but there were only 2 chairs to sit. But this was such a beautiful view, and I would highly recommend getting a balcony room if you're ever going on a cruise, because just sitting out here and hearing and seeing the ocean like this on your own time, and you're not being rushed, like, this was so peaceful. And this is one of my absolute favorite parts of being on a cruise. So here is the overview of the tables and chairs. It was also really clean, and it also had hooks on the outside walls for you to hang your towels or your bathing suits on, I think. Although it was super windy, I would probably not recommend doing that, because I always worried that they would get like blown away, because it can get very windy on the balcony. Overall, I would definitely book this room again. I had a really fun time on Royal Caribbean, and I hope everyone enjoys this video. Thank you for watching.